Okay, so I'm not sure if you're just making a very, very small square hole. If that's the case, I would just go ahead and drill. Suppose it's a 1/8 inch square. So I'd take an 1/8 inch drill and go ahead and drill through, and then use a small file. Or actually, what I'd do is I'd probably go into the corners. Um, if that was our hole and we drilled it already, I'd go into the corners and just kind of carve out what I could with the X-Acto blade. But if you're going to do something larger, this is the example of what I was talking about. Um, let's just say I was going to do a square cutout here. Well, first I'd want to draw it or scribe it on there with some straight edges. Now with the X-Acto blade, you don't want to use the sharp side, because what that's going to do is it's just going to want to dig into the material, and as it does that, it wedges itself. So what I meant is, if you had a straight edge, doesn't have to be something big and bulky like this, but I do like this because it's got the sandpaper on the other side and it will not slip. So I would take this almost straight up and use it as a guide. And then when let's do this corner here. I'm just trying to use a cell phone to do this, so. Alright, so I just pull back. The tip of this one's not sharp. And as you keep pulling back like that, what happens is you're scoring, you're taking little pieces of the plastic out. So you can, some of it's on the edge there, and then some of it's, I can't zoom in any closer than that, some of it's here. But if you use the sharp side, like I said, you're going to get to the point where it's just going to wedge itself in there, and it's going to make a really nasty, ugly cut. But when that tip is sharp, and if you're careful enough, once you got your line started, you can keep doing that. One hand would be holding down. I can't do that because I'm holding the phone. And then you see I'm not using the sharp side. I'm using that tip and I'm pulling back on it. And then when, of course, you're going to have a mark somewhere. Say it's like there. And you don't quite want to get all the way down to it. Just kind of work out as much as you can. And then the next step up would be, I would switch out to one of these little razor saws. And once you start poking through the plastic, you can come in here with the razor saw and go into the cut that you've, the material that you scored out. And you just carefully kind of work that, and the tip will start to go in and out, and then you'll be able to get deeper and then run that thing right up to wherever your line is. Now, if you're doing a really tiny hole, again, I'd drill it and then just use your X-Acto and then come back with a fine. I've got some real fine files that would get in there and clean it up. But anything larger like that, that's how I do it. So I could mark the square, then the second step, go against a straight edge and drag this thing almost perpendicular with a sharp tip back. And like I said, what you're doing is So you can see little pieces curling up and going away. That's not going to happen if you use the sharp. It just digs in. Anyway, I hope that helps. I mean, once you get one side done, and then you get this, if it's this size or larger, which is a little more than 1/4 inch, you can saw your way up to the next line and then do your scoring again. And then, like I said, you don't have to go right from the very edge. You can, but it's just easier. It depends on how large it is, too. If it's something that's, you know, big and you start to score, I'd score it as much as possible. And that's where you got to be careful, because you don't want to go past a certain point. So I go really slow when you get close to that point, and then I'd concentrate more toward the middle. And then when you switch, when you feel yourself going through, you want to have something hard on the other side, like glass or just something that's going to support it, right? You'll start to feel when that blade is going through from the scoring, and that's, like I said, that's when you want to start using one of these X-Acto micro saw blades, and then you have a lot more control, because if you're using the tip of the X-Acto blade, like I said, you get to the edge of where you don't want to go beyond. You got to be really careful. And what I do is I usually, whatever I'm holding, I kind of put my fingers or my hand on that object. So I'm kind of doing this, and it can't, if I'm just pulling, it can get away from me, and then you could scratch paint and damage something. So that's just the way I do things. And if I'm cutting something very small, I'll kind of put my fingers together as I'm getting ready to carve on something. Like if I'm holding something, that way if it slips, it's not going to go very far. So anyway, I hope all this makes sense to you and helps.